Is going on? All right, so just taking a double check here to see if it is in fact going live. And let's see here. Scrolling down, let's see. Oh, don't know. Let's try this again. Good afternoon here in Facebook land and beyond. So, as you can see here, there are no victims, only volunteers. And while that may be harsh, I get it. I just like you to have a little consideration around this philosophy. There are no victims, only volunteers. And what I mean by this is to think about things happen in life. I get it. COVID happened. We get it. It's the one thing that actually levels the playing field. We're all dealing with it in one way, shape, or form. And there was fallout from it. People are struggling economically, struggling emotionally, struggling physically. All of these issues. Maybe maybe you lost a job. Maybe you were furloughed. Maybe you're losing some income. Maybe you've got to work from home. Maybe your children are staying from home. Oh my goodness, my heart goes out to families. I don't know how families are doing it. We are so blessed that here our daughter is able to attend school in person. But maybe I can't imagine what a single mother is doing if they can't go to work and they've got to homeschool. It's tragic. I get it. But this conversation is noticing how there are people who transmute tragedy into triumph, that they don't live in a sense of victim, right? It's not, it just happened. When I say we're volunteering, what that means is essentially if a thing happens and we live stuck in that, and we just keep telling the story and using that as the excuse to not move ahead, to not take on whatever challenges that have befallen this opportunity, we are now volunteering ourselves to be re-victimized. Now, again, hear me. I don't mean that horrible things don't happen. I don't mean that there are challenges, things that are outside of our control, that something could happen that is tragic, that is horrible, that is beyond the pale. But that's life. Things happen in life. It's what do we do with that information, with that situation? Do we continue to play the blame game and use that as an excuse, which, by the way, is understandable for many? And yet, when we look back at some incredible success stories, what made them so successful is that they did not deliver excuses. And yet they could have. You know, there's a famous story of a woman who was raped at a young age and unfortunately ended up having a child out of it, and it ended up being stillborn, and she was African American and a little overweight, and she went into going for a news anchor position, and she was told that it would never work, that she would never get a job as a news anchor. Now, as an overweight African-American woman in the 70s and 80s, she could say, well, I was raped, I was abused, I had this stillborn, I'm overweight African-American, no one's going to hire me and all of that. But we all know who she is, one of the most powerful women in the world, Oprah Winfrey. Why? Because she chose not to be a victim. She decided to transmute the tragedies of her experience, of her life. And no one would have blamed her, by the way, if she gave up on her dreams. No one would have blamed her if she said, oh, I can't do it because I'm black, I'm overweight, no one's ever done this before. She rose above. She did not let that stop her. She did not remain a victim. She did not give her power away to the victim. She became a victor. And that's why she's so inspiring. But here's the thing, we can find, right? What's the old saying? Misery loves company. So we could find all sorts of people to sit and pity party with us and be like, oh yeah, oh screw that person, screw this person, screw that, no, this is all this is that, and blame and use as an excuse and have people justify it and say, yeah, oh yeah, COVID, oh you lost your job, oh yeah, we can't do this, we can't do that. Or we can rise up. We can transmute tragedy into triumph. We can not get addicted to the victimhood mentality and surround ourselves with victors. Be willing to challenge the system. Be willing to step up and go against the grain, because that's what makes victors, warriors. They step up, they go against the grain. They're willing to do whatever it takes. They don't fall prey to victim. They are a victor, and they understand that victors are in a battle of sorts. But the truth is, the biggest battle you and I have is right up here. We choose where our focus goes. We choose the excuses that we make. They're all decisions. We volunteer ourselves into whatever situation happens. We decide what that means. We decide what we're going to do with that information. We choose whether or not we're going to stay stuck in the pain or push through to the power, push through to the success, to the joy, to the happiness. It's what iFreedom Hack is about. It's about understanding how to take our power back, to live as the warrior, not the worrier. So just ask yourself that question. Where in your life are you allowing the pain to hold you back, the challenges to keep you stuck? Are you a victim or a victor? And the choice is yours. It's a choice. If you choose victim, you're volunteering your power to whatever story you're telling to keep you stuck. Then you can find people to agree with you and justify it and actually make big business supporting it. Or you could be part of the true revolution, the revolution of the mind, the revolution of personal responsibility, the revolution of deciding who you are, not letting someone else tell you who you are, whether it be directly or indirectly. Because by the way, it's indirect. If you're hanging out with people who justify your victim mentality, the woe is me, the blame game, and there's plenty of blame to go around. That's easy to find. Smaller group of people right now, or maybe a silent majority, hopefully, of people who are like, no. I'm willing to take a stand for myself. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, but I'm not going to have that stop me. I'm still going to find a way to add value. I'm still going to find a way to prosper. I'm still going to find a way to live abundantly, to live with love, with joy, with passion. Ecologically, with passion, for joy, for growth, for adding value, to taking their business or their personal lives to the next level. So if that's you, awesome. And if it's not, awesome. There's no right or wrong here. This is the choice. Are you choosing to step up? Are you choosing to be a warrior, a victor? Or are you choosing to be a worrier or a victim? Because it's a choice. I'm not saying things don't happen at all. They're happening to everybody all the time. That's nature. That is the world. There's never been a time where there haven't been challenges, where there haven't been obstacles. So, feedback, thoughts. How could we utilize this? How could we train our children? How could we make this more of a way of life to just take on these challenges and understand that they are real and that we have the power to overcome them? Share this if this was helpful. Check out ifreedomhack.com if this is something that is of value. I love you for who you are and who you aren't. God bless, and I will see you soon.